The Voyager golden record carries a hidden message, and it is not a spooky code or a cute Easter egg. It is a complete physics-first protocol that walks any intelligent finder from zero context to "this is who sent it." The secret is not a single word. It is the way the whole package teaches time, place, playback, units, pictures, sound, biology, and culture in an order that is very hard to misunderstand if you are careful. It starts with a universal clock, it ends with a heartbeat and a song that is the handshake. The backbone is simple. The cover gives you a timing key based on hydrogen. There is a specific flip in hydrogen that ticks at a precise rate. Call it the hydrogen beat. Everything else on the record is measured against that beat. If you can count, you can set your seconds. If you have your seconds, you can set the turntable speed, the image scan rate, and the audio timing. There is no English, no alphabet to learn. No cultural symbols, just a tick. The cosmos already knows. Use this. Next is the return address. The cover shows a starburst of lines that point to reliable cosmic lighthouses called pulsars. Each line marks how fast that pulsar blinks, written in your new hydrogen seconds. You compare those blink rates to your sky, and now you can triangulate our spot in space and the date we launched. It is us saying we live here relative to these beacons. Test it, verify it. No swagger, no threat. Now the how to play section. The cover diagrams, a stylus, a cartridge, the spin direction, and the speed. The record runs slow and steady at 16 2/3 revolutions per minute, because stability beats flash when you are building for 1 billion years. It opens with calibration tones that, when converted into lines at the correct scan rate, draw a clean circle as the first image. If your circle is squashed or leaning, your setup is off. Fix the timing, fix the scan. Try again when the circle renders perfectly. The rest of the pictures will be clean. The record teaches you how to see before it shows you anything personal. That is the quiet genius. It corrects you as you learn. After the circle comes a simple test image. Basic shapes, a careful decoder can confirm the pipeline is. Right? Then the record locks in a universal ruler. It ties distance to the speed of light and time to that hydrogen beat. 1 unit of length on the pictures becomes how far light travels in one of your new seconds. No inches, no centimeters, nothing provincial. If you can count the beat and you know what light is, you just built our measuring tape from scratch. Once the clock and ruler are nailed, the real content opens. First, a non-controversial skeleton of reality. Math patterns, physics basics, a diagram of our solar neighborhood. The spectrum of our star cross-checks to confirm the pulsar map. Then Earth, clouds, ocean, mountains, plants, animals, people, a hand, an eye, a baby. A human height marked in your new light-based ruler. A double helix because we are telling you our life runs on that structure. Food, schools, a city, a road. The point is not to dazzle. It is to introduce the core truths in a way that translates. We know the rules of nature. We live in families. We build. We explore. We care for young. We use tools. Then the soundscape, wind and surf, thunder and birds, engines and footsteps, greetings in many languages, music from all over our world. Rhythm, melody, harmony, percussion that makes your head nod even if you have never seen a drum. Buried in that audio is the bravest track of all. A long recording of human physiology, breath, heartbeat, brain rhythm. To a casual ear, it is hiss. To a careful mind, it is a living system running in real time. No narration, no sales pitch, just life. That is the step from physics to empathy. From we can count to we feel. Put it together and the hidden message snaps into focus. The golden record is a ladder. Rung 1, a universal second that every atom of hydrogen agrees on. Rung 2, a map any astronomer can verify. Rung 3, an instruction manual for playback that checks your work. Rung 4, a ruler any lab can rebuild. Rung 5, pictures obvious to any eye with a steady scan. Rung 6, a soundscape proving we do more than survive, we sing. Rung 7, a heartbeat proving there is someone on the other end of this line. Walk it end to end like you are the one who found it. First, you examine the cover. You note the timing diagram tied to hydrogen. You mark that period, you note the starburst. You write down the blink rates and link them to known sky beacons. You already have a rough time in place. You are on the map and on the clock with no words exchanged. Second, You look at the playback panel. You see the stylus carving, the groove path, the direction of spin, and the speed as a ratio to your new second. You replicate that with any mechanism capable of a steady rotation. It does not have to be fancy. It has to be constant. Third, you route the voltage to a simple display that turns signal into brightness, line by line, scanning at the rate the cover tells you. The first render gives you a clean circle. That is the built-in stamp that says you got it right. If the circle is off, you adjust the scan rate until it locks. Once the circle snaps into place, your tools are aligned with ours. Fourth, you step into the images, basic geometry, then a human figure scaled to your new ruler. Next, the sun spectrum, so you can pick our star by its fingerprint. Then a schematic of our solar neighborhood and the path the spacecraft took out of it. Redundancy is not an accident. Each clue cross-checks another fifth. The sequence moves into culture, anatomy, food, family, animals, buildings, a classroom, a world map, orbital shots showing continents and clouds. The images are chosen to be self-explanatory, even if you have never seen a book and never met a human pattern. After pattern says we are social. We are curious. We build, we farm, we teach, we explore. 6. You flip to audio. First tones for calibration, locks for amplitude and bandwidth, the natural sounds of our planet. Then greetings, then music. You do not need our scales to feel the structure. This is intentional signal, not noise. You hear a language you will never speak, but the cadence of a greeting still lands. You hear a drum, and you understand we like to organize time. That tells you we are not only problem solvers, we are meaning makers. 7th, you study the long biology track. You see repeating spikes and waves with natural variability that matches a breathing animal. You can calculate heart rate, breathing rate, and rhythms that match a brain at rest and a brain responding. All of it tied back to the hydrogen clock. So the numbers are not arbitrary. The message is direct. Someone was alive, that is the clean chain. Look deeper, and you see how much the team did to prevent misreadings. The same universal second runs through every part. The same logic ties picture to sound to measurement. There is a map and a spectrum, so you can confirm location in 2 different ways. There is a visual unit ruler and an audio calibration, so you can confirm scale in 2 different ways. There is a circle to nail the scan before a face appears, so you do not deform a human into a cartoon and walk away with the wrong idea. It is not only content, it is error control disguised as hello, why a physical record when radio exists. Because physical grooves do not care about our file formats or compression tricks. A waveform is a waveform. Any species with hands, claws, tendrils, or tools can build a steady spinner and a pickup that tracks motion. Analog stays legible when everything else rots. The record rides outside the spacecraft, plated and protected, with the stylus on board. When our transmitters go silent and our languages shift, the disc remains playable by anyone who can keep a constant speed and measure voltage. What about the map risk? Why give away our location? Straight answer. If you can find a tiny probe coasting between stars, you already can map our sky and backtrack its path. The map is not a new risk. It is a statement. We are not sneaking. We are deliberately understandable. And if we are going to introduce ourselves at all, it is better that the introduction is testable. Any finder can check the pulsars, check the star spectrum, check the geometry, and conclude that the senders know the same universe we do. The part people miss is the order of operations. Most remember the playlist and the greetings. The real trick is the staircase physics first, then coordinates, then instructions, then units, then visuals, then audio, then biology, then culture. It is a curriculum. You could teach a class off this object. Lesson 1, agree on a clock. Lesson 2, agree on where and when. Lesson 3, agree on how to render signal into picture. Lesson 4, agree on how to measure things. Lesson 5, now show a face in a forest. Lesson 6, now let them hear a breath in a song. So what? Why does this matter now? Because this is the best example of a message designed for unknown minds that humans have ever built. It forces brutal clarity, no jargon, no assumptions about eyes, ears, or words. It starts from physics and climbs toward feeling one rung at a time. It does it without cheap moves. No scare, no boast, no sermon. Just a steady parade of here is what is true, followed by here is what we are like. First principles make the case. If you wanted to prove you are not random noise, you would start with a clock. If you wanted to prove you are local to a place and a time, you would give verifiable coordinates. If you wanted to prove cross-sensory competence, you would use sound to draw pictures and let the listener confirm on their own instrument. If you wanted to show you understand biology, you would show growth, anatomy, and the structure of your genetic code. If you wanted to show you value more than survival, you would include music. That stack is the secret message. The design values matter. Humility over ego. The record does not lead with weapons or leaders. It leads with nature, family, and art verification over persuasion. Every claim is cross-checkable with the sky. Redundancy over flash. Multiple ways to align timing and scale. So a single bad assumption does not wreck the decode. Openness over fear. The map is there. The spectrum is there. The trajectory is there. Patience over drama. The disc opens with calibration, not fireworks. That is respect for the listener. There is built in psychological safety. This is not a broadcast that screams across space forever. It is a physical artifact that must be picked up, studied, and understood. Any civilization that gets it has already proven it can approach a gentle mystery with care. The medium filters the conversation. It rewards patience and curiosity, not aggression. What does decoding actually feel like for a careful mind that never met us? Like opening a toolbox you did not know you needed and finding every wrench in order. First the tiny one for timing, then the star map wrench, then the playback wrench, then the unit wrench, then the picture and sound wrenches. By the time you reach the heartbeat, you have agreed on so much that the empathy lands without translation. The latter does the heavy lifting. The listener does not need our words to understand our intent. Let us handle the criticisms cleanly. Is it arrogant to speak for Earth? The record cannot be complete. It is not trying to be a census. It is a fair sample that any mind can parse. It spreads instruments, cultures, and voices. It avoids ideology. It does not pretend to be definitive. It aims to be legible and kind. What if the pictures are misread? The team anticipated that. The first image is a circle to lock the scan. Geometric tests come before faces. The unit ruler is built from light, not from a local stick. The odds of a careful decoder ending up with nonsense are low because the system corrects you as you go. Why not send math proofs in a long physics textbook? Because the goal is a handshake, not a flex. You do not start a conversation by dumping a library on a stranger. You start with common ground, time, place, constants. Prove you are honest and careful. Then show what you care about. If the listener wants deeper math, they can derive it off the images and the clock you provided. Why not hide the record inside to protect it? Because you want the finder to notice it without tearing the ship apart. The disc is plated and shielded, the stylus is mounted, the cover is etched. It is rugged enough to survive and visible enough to invite curiosity. What if no one ever finds it? Then the record still did something huge. It forced us to decide what we would say if strangers understood us. It made us practice being clear, honest, and welcoming. It made us pick a heartbeat over a boast that has value, even if the only minds that hear it are our descendants a million years from now. If you built a modern golden record today and wanted to honor the original's values, you would keep the same staircase. Start with a clock anchored in something every atom agrees on. Give a map that is verifiable. Include instructions that correct the decoder. Tie units to nature's constants. Prove the pipeline before you show a face, layer, sound, and picture, so the same truth speaks through different senses. Include biology and art, because those are the pieces that make us us. Keep it humble. Keep it testable. Keep it kind. Bring it back to a human minute. The most moving choice on the disc is still that long body signal track. Think about what you give a stranger when you hand them that. Not a speech, not a slogan, not a pitch, just the electricity of a living person pulse and breath sliding like a tide. If you have sat in a quiet room and listened to someone breathe, you know that feeling. It is universal. The record walks you from hydrogen to heart, from the most basic beat in the universe to the most private beat in our chests. That is the arc. There is one more simple thing this object says that people miss. We believed we were worth introducing. In the middle of all our arguments, we took the time to craft a message that would make sense without us. We bolted it to 2 machines and sent them out. We did not ask for anything back. We did not put a price on it. We did not watermark it. We said, if you find this and you can learn, here's who we are. On breath summary, you can paste at the top of your edit. The secret message in the Voyager golden record is not a hidden password. It is a step-by-step handshake that starts with a universal second, points to our corner of the galaxy, teaches you how to turn sound into pictures, builds a ruler from light, and then hands you a heartbeat and a song. The cover is the manual. The grooves are the proof. The feeling at the end is the point final line. Said clean. We did not hide a code, we built a ladder. If you can climb the first rung, you can climb the last. At the top, you do not find a brag, you find a hello. That is the message.